Happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the Friday Edge, where we have real talk, we expect real results, and we have the belief that anything is possible. Have you ever considered that a cluttered space is going to create clutter in your mind? Today we're going to talk just a bit about clutter and about order and about the benefits of living a life that is ordered. I have the firm belief that we all were created with intent and purpose, and that if we were created that way, we should probably live our lives that way. After all, God created us and he's pretty smart, so I'd like to do what he does, right? And live a life of order that is purposeful and intentional. So part of that comes down to, we hear those things and we think, well, that's great, but how does that play out in my everyday life? Well, I'm going to give you an example. In these upcoming episodes of the Friday Edge, I'm going to include some practical tips every week on things that I have found to be so helpful in my own life when it comes to living a life of order. The principle that I'm going to talk about today when it comes to order is simplicity. I believe that when it comes to systems, processes, order in the way that we do things, there are three components that always must be present when it comes to order in simplicity. And that is that whatever process we're using needs to be simple, it needs to be repeatable, and it needs to be practical. Simple, repeatable, practical. So I'm standing here in my home kitchen today, and I wanted to give you an example of something super practical. I'm a mom, okay, and I love to cook. I'm also an entrepreneur. I work full time. And so I've had to adjust my schedule to reflect all of those things. And my family is one of my priorities. And so I have learned that I'm not going to spend a lot of time during the week cooking because it is way too stressful for me. And so I have purposely, Monday through Thursday, adjusted my schedule to include only very simple, informal dinners for my family. And we all are aware of that. We're all on the same page with it, and everybody helps on those nights, and it's no big deal. But on the weekend, like today, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday, I enjoy cooking, but we have a very simple, repeatable, and practical process by which we do that when we all cook together in the kitchen. And I often cook with my kids, and so my kitchen is it's divided into zones. I've got 3 workspaces that I use when I am cooking with my kids, and they all automatically know what those zones are. So here is one zone, right here on one side of the sink is one, and then my third zone is right over here on the other side of the sink. So this may seem tedious to you, but it has saved us a tremendous amount of time and frustration in the kitchen. And just to slip a little note in here, like I said at the beginning, a cluttered space equals a cluttered mind. So in a small space, whether you're working in a small office, you're working in a kitchen, or you're doing a project at some location with someone else and you're in a tight space, the more ordered we can keep our space, the lower the stress levels will be with feeling kind of frenzied with stuff being everywhere. So what happens when we go to cook, we're going to cook dinner here tonight, is the things that require water. So if I'm making a salad with vegetables, I always do anything requiring rinsing or doing anything like that, I do it right beside the sink because it's right there and I just scoop the water right into it, right? The other thing that I do is that we all make sure that we keep our spaces where we're working clean. So if I'm pulling out 5 ingredients to start chopping up for a salad, for instance, I get the things out that I need, but then I immediately put them away when I'm finished with them. They don't stay setting out there. I immediately wipe completely dry with a wet rag and a dry rag, and we keep our space tidy and neat. Now, we all follow the same process. It's simple, it's repeatable, and it's practical. And it works beautifully. It's low stress, and so I'd just like to encourage you that no matter where you want to apply these principles, the principles of order are the same. Whether I'm cooking in my kitchen, or I'm working in my office, or I'm working with Maggie on a project for our business, they're all the same. Simple, repeatable, practical in any process. And so as you go into the weekend, remember, a cluttered space equals a cluttered mind. And so here's cheers to a great weekend, and to a weekend where you feel at peace and where you've got order, and enjoy the moments. And I look forward to being with you again next week on the Friday Edge.